Okay, so I want to give you guys an update on Project UFO here. Maybe somebody could enlighten me, possibly, but this is sort of a cry for help and then sort of I'm giving up video. All right, so when I ordered the UFO, or I got the UFO, this was supposedly never used, which I believe. This is an eBay find, and it's in good condition. The wiring for it looks to have never been unraveled. Those were factory tin solder joints at the end of the cables and everything, yada, yada, yada. So I believe this was a new in-the-box device. Okay, so that being said, I hooked it up real quick to my Robin 510 with the test pigtail on it and just reprogrammed the screws. These don't have the rocker switches like the Digiscans do, but this is, I don't know if it's a copy of a Digiscan, but it sure looks like it is, like maybe a more refined version. This does come from Japan. This was early 80s, I believe about 1983, and the instruction manual or the installation manual to this is almost, it's about an 80% copy of a Digiscan, okay? The DS400, not the Redco version, but the Digilog version. So anyway, I tried that on the Robin and it would not lock. And I'll show you how you can tell that on this here in just a second. So I thought, okay, well, whatever. Look, it powers up, it turns on. I'm halfway there. I'm just going to bite the bullet and install it on the Cobra 2000 GTL. I wanted to get that big ugly knob off of here and just make it look OEM again. Okay, so I had my crystal knob on there. Goes a little like that. That was just gross. It was driving me nuts. This radio isn't mint, but it's in good shape. So that being said, I wired up the UFO as per instructions, and everything seemed to work fine. It goes up to about 27,670 and then unlocks. So that's kind of what this radio did with the crystals. So I'm like, okay, whatever, without doing any VCO alignment or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, that seems normal. I'll start biting into more of the VCO alignment, and we'll just see what's going on. However, I was on lower sideband, and I wanted to run down to 23 AM real quick. And so I just switched over to AM. And oh my, look at that. It goes into an unlock mode. Now, this just keeps doing it. So, long story short, I've powered this thing on and off. When you power it on and off, you can, there we go. You can get it to lock back up again. I'll run up here and show you the unlock situation. Now I can adjust the VCO to get it to go a little higher, because what you're supposed to do with this is take it to 28 megs and then adjust your VCO. See how it was flickering back and forth? It's just going to unlock right there. Okay, so it was 630, not 670. Anyway, whatever. But here's what happens when I change modes. So I'm on, what am I on here? We're on AM, so I'm going to go to sideband. It unlocks. All right. And you have to actually reset the device, in order to get it to go back. So what I did is I went back into the instruction manual for the DS400, the Digiscan, the Digilog Digiscan, DS400. Let me get a better camera angle. Okay, so I had a clean install to begin with, and I should have known to check it before I did that. However, I did not, so now I've got some questionable looking work here, but I'm still getting the same results. I was going to clean this back up, when I got it working. So here's what I did. I did what the Digitlog instructions say, and I installed the loop filter here to test point 9 off. I believe that was coax 2, if I remember right. Is it? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, and they're all grounded to the same point. I know that's a little sloppy. However, understand, I've redone this a few times. So the intention, again, was to clean up. So anyway, I installed the loop filter. Did this, which kind of makes sense, but kind of doesn't. The way these Cobra 2000s are to keep the clock operational, if I remember right, they switch the power on off on this unit through ground. That's why sometimes when you mess around with these lights on here, you'll turn the radio off and they'll partially glow. So anyway, Digiscan said to take a 2000 microfarad capacitor and go from the board ground, which would be a can, to a chassis ground. Now, I'm not really a believer in this. I believe that these factories have done their grounding system for a reason. However, it did make sense because I thought maybe when you're turning mode, you know, there's a power spike between them, a lack of power. So let's just say going from AM to lower sideband, in between that AM and lower sideband, there would be a no power situation, which could possibly bring the UFO into an unlocked situation. So I thought, well, maybe this will act as a buffer. Maybe this 10 microfarad capacitor here will act as some sort of storage, because I'm not, you know, 100% versed in these. And so I thought this would take care of that, and it did not. As you can see, my VCO here's a little scrubbly because I've been messing around with that. I melted the wax in there and got into that. Before I started this whole installation, this radio, you know, was recapped, and I've got, gosh, a couple of years of service on it. It's been a great radio. There's no problem with that. I got my capacitor kit, by the way, from Klondike Mike's, which I loved because he supplies really good capacitors, and it just made this particular job easier for recapping this. I think I got the... I think the capacitors for this frequency counter came in that kit as well. That was fun. But anyway, all that being said, I'm kind of at a standstill here. So that's my update. I saw on Worldwide DX that there was another gentleman that had the same issue as well. So I'm thinking possibly the UFO is just not compatible to this. So you guys let me know what you think, and if anybody's watching that's had any experience with this chassis setup with the UFO, I would appreciate your input. But as it looks right now, I think I'm going to take my Digiscan 400 and put onto this radio. I like the way that DS400 works. So we're just going to see. Am I going to get full frequency with this up to 28 meg and down to 25 something or 26 something? I don't know, because I do understand the 2000s do not have very much as far as being wide-banded. So anyway, I'm okay with that. That's not a problem. Now, I know my buddy Needlebender UDX99 Darren, he had one of these brand new back in the day with the Digiscan 400 on it, and I've never heard of anybody complaining about it. So before I do any crazy modifications or anything like that, I think I'm going to try the Digiscan 400. But again, if you guys have any information or have had any experience with the UFO on one of these, I'd appreciate your input. Thanks, guys.